Rain and Perry.
In 1,000 feet, use the right 2 lanes to keep right.
Amazing. Hey, happy Monday, guys. Welcome to Prepare to Go There. My name is Peter, and I'm so grateful that we get to hang out today. It's Monday, June 21, 2021. That's kind of cool. And I'll be honest, I spent all of my time editing that video, so I have no content for you. No, I'm joking. But I just wanted to have fun and add a intro there. And we're going to dive into week 2. I am pretty fresh on the live stream trail, and I appreciate all of you that are joining the Genesis. I'm going to attempt to try this and get started. If you are here, congratulations, because this live stream is actually a little harder to find on purpose. I'm convinced that real growth starts underground. And so that's why I am inviting friends and leaders alike to go on a journey, to go on a coaching journey where we can put in the necessary but unnoticed preparation, so that way when we show up, we're going to show up ready. And it is so important that we are making the most of every day and week. So that way, when we get called upon, we can give our best. I want to give a call to action right away. First off is I want to help you. And so I want to give you a gift. It is a fail-proof planning guide. I'm going to show you that, but in order to do it, I'm going to have to turn down the music. This is a cool little tool. Today, we're going to be talking about leveraging the hidden years. What are we talking about? What are the hidden years? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before that, I want to give you a gift. It is the fail-proof planning guide. It is free. You can download it instantly, and it's going to really help you stop thinking in a linear way where you have to have circumstances go a certain way. You know, you have to have your morning the perfect way. You have to have your day the perfect way. You have to have your week the perfect way. Newsflash, unexpected things happen. And so how do you stay agile? How do you stay responsive and resilient when everything's kind of changing up on you? instead of having some bulletproof plan, you have to have a proven planning process. And so when you get the mindset down and the skill set right, then it doesn't matter what happens. It's kind of like GPS. If you take a wrong turn, it's just going to recalibrate and keep you going. So that's what we're trying to build in is what are the mindsets, what are the skill sets that can help us stay current as things are changing. And we're not going to be like totally, weirded out when every little detail doesn't go as planned. But you say, no, I actually enjoy planning. It's actually like a hobby. I kind of have like a blue, green, red, black belt in this. And I made one plan. I can make another plan. And I know how to stay clear and keep moving forward. So that is a gift to you. It's going to help you with daily planning, but it's also going to help you with high-level goal setting. And it's designed for interaction. It's designed for step-by-step exercises. My wife and I came together and built that for you. So enjoy it. And I would love for you to let me know how it's helping you. Well, let's get into this content, the hidden years. The hidden years. What are we talking about? Well, the original inspiration for me was coming from my faith journey, looking at the life of Jesus. And we see a story of him in scripture where he's like 12. And then the next time we see him in the story, he's like 30, and when he shows up, it's like world changing, it is totally next level. Nobody has ever seen someone walking and talking, thinking, living, leading on that level. And obviously he is exceptional, but there is also an example embedded in it, particularly for Jesus followers, but I think it applies to anyone because there is still a precedent that we can find that will help anyone. It's a life principle. And here's the principle. There's this gap between 12, basically 13 and 30. I'll say it that way. And something was going on between 13 and 30 that really developed, prepared, positioned this legendary leader. And I think instead of trying to, uncover what was going on and are there any artifacts, are there any records, like go with the obvious example that it is okay to go unnoticed for a while, like a long time. Like it's okay to go unnoticed because you don't need people to approve or to applaud your progress. If you ever get this mindset shift that you can be just as productive, just as empowered, just as fulfilled, just as effective on your own as you are with a fan base or with mentors or supervisors or bosses or whoever. Like you can lead yourself. And when you learn how to lead yourself well, you are actually going to get so far ahead because you're not waiting on other people to take steps that you can take for yourself. And so the hidden years that I'm just telling you, and in full disclosure where I got inspired, but I really believe that it's going to help anybody, everybody take advantage of your hidden years. Don't waste your hidden years, but instead go after them and steward them and multiply them and grow them, because the hidden years represent all of the time that is going unnoticed. But here's what's happening. It's all that time is leading up to moments in the future that are going to matter the most. So we don't know when those big deal days are coming. We don't know what it's going to look like when we're called to action, when we're called to leadership, when we're called to step up and be a strength on behalf of others, to be a voice on behalf of others, to be an example on behalf of others. We don't know what that's going to look like, but what we do know is that we have time right now to prepare to go there. And what I have found is that a lot of people don't realize why they are in the hidden years. And so they'll do one of two things. And there's basically 3 points today. You basically have 3 options. What are you going to do with your hidden years? It's going to be a little different for everybody. The time range is going to be different. The circumstances are going to be different. But we all go through this time where we have an invitation. Are we going to take advantage of the obscurity? Are we going to maximize the mundane? Are we going to own the chances to optimize ourselves and to really do the necessary work, do the things that are really needed in order to be confident and competent for the challenges in the future, for the opportunities in the future? And there's basically 3 things that we do. Number 1 is we procrastinate. We just don't even know what's going on. Like we don't even realize that we are in some sort of preparation, some sort of training time. So we just kind of waste away. We're just kind of self-absorbed. We're going with the flow. We're doing whatever feels good in the moment. We don't really have any kind of internal compass to give us direction or guidance. And in the same way, we just kind of just waste time. And I am shocked by how many people are discouraged, and they are sad that they don't have any opportunities, they don't have any breaks, they don't have any. They just feel so miserable, and they don't make the connection that there's actually time on the clock that can be used to score points. Like you actually have an opportunity. You have a window of opportunity now that can help you in your race, in this game. And so don't waste that clock, but man, go all in. Please take advantage of the time you have right now. And so that's really just the mindset shift. But then there's this other question. There's this other choice. How will we spend those hidden years? How will we spend those hidden years? You can procrastinate it, or here's the other one. You can ask yourself this question. Okay, so here I am. I want to do stuff. I want to go places. I want to be a leader. I want to, make money. I want to maybe I want to go travel. I want to get married. I want to do this. I want to do that, right? The future. These are all things I want to do in the future. I'm not there yet, but I got to get there and I want to go for it. So Peter, how do I better promote myself? Because that's the problem, right? Right? That's what we think. The reason we're not there is because for whatever reason, people have been skipping over us, and we're not being given our fair share. We're not getting the attention we deserve. We're not getting the voice we deserve. We're not getting the spotlight right now. And so we got to figure out the real problem, we think, is how do I better promote myself? How do I better promote myself? How do I better position myself? How do I better, brand myself and lift up myself and leverage what I have and what I've been given? And how do I promote myself? Because that's the problem. Nobody's promoting me. Nobody's helping me. People have been stepping on me. Circumstances have been piled up on top of me. And that's all getting in the way of me and where I want to be. So I got to figure out, I got to do it for myself. How do I better promote myself? And it sounds really good. Right? That kind of sounds like self-leadership in and of itself. Like, you have to lead yourself. You have to promote yourself. Why wouldn't you promote yourself? I mean, look at me. Look, here's a few of the other slides. Look, boom, there's me. I got my face on the slide here. Isn't that promoting myself? Okay, look, I got my picture right there. Am I not promoting myself there? So what's the difference between promoting yourself and preparing yourself? And this is the point that I'm trying to drive home. It's fine to share your unique expression. It's cool to be authentic. It's great to, find steps that help you move forward. But what I have found in my own experience, as well as just through observation, is so many of my friends and so many of my peers and so many of what I would call the mentor class, we can learn from their example, and they waste more time than necessary trying to get out of the hidden years. They waste so much time trying to promote themselves that they actually get the promotion they were working on, and they find out that they were not prepared for the promotion they fought for. They bought out the promotion that they caught, the promotion that they, work towards. They actually got what they wanted. They actually got the promotion, but then when they got there, they're like, yikes, dang it, I'm not ready for this. I spent all of my time trying to get here and all of my energy and all of my effort and all of my, formation was either expedited or just sidelined. And here I am, but now what if you actually get the level of promotion you're gunning for? What if you actually get the followers you're gunning for? What if you actually get the money you're gunning for? What if you actually get the access you're gunning for? Like, do you know what you would say, how you would lead, how you would respond? Do you know how you would handle pressure? Do you know how you would, delegate and manage others and serve others well? I mean, do you even know how you would respond if you got the very thing you are going so hard after? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be promoted. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a clear goal and start making progress towards it. What I'm saying is, don't waste your time that should be preparing, trying to get ahead of that necessary preparation process. Instead, leverage your hidden years. Man, you need to be relaxed. You need to be chill. You need to be at peace. You need to be focused. You need to stay centered. You need to remain clear. You need to say, I'm in process. I'm on a journey. I'm learning as I go. I'm having fun. Why would I rush this? Man, I'm picking up so much every single day. I'm getting so much done every day. Why would I rush this? I'm meeting so many new people every single week and month. Why would I rush that? I'm adding value every day. Why would I rush that? I'm actually using the hidden years to my advantage. I'm not bucking that principle. I'm not pushing back on that principle, which is actually for my good. It's actually there to help. It's actually there to empower. It's actually there to assist in the long game. But are we thinking the long game, or are we just trying to get that next shortcut? Are we just trying to cut out things that are uncomfortable? Are we trying to just skirt around things that are inconvenient? Are we just getting all riled up and stirred up because we're jealous at someone else's success? Like, I'm all for pushing yourself, competing, you against you, or you against, whoever's in your field. But you need to make sure that you're actually ready for the thing you're trying to get into, for the thing you're trying to go for. And so it kind of smells of hubris if we take on this arrogant attitude that we can opt out of training. We can opt out of the disciplines. We can opt out of the process. We can just opt out of the steps that we need to take to get from point A to Z. Like, who are we to say that? Number one, we're no better than any of the other leaders that have gone to new ground. But number two, we don't even know where this path is taking us. You don't know where the path of self-promotion will take you. You don't know how far the path of self-promotion will expect you to go. So you better really be ready before you take on the path of self-promotion. I grew up hearing this: whatever new ground you gain, you must also sustain. Whatever new ground you gain, you must also sustain. See, your talents can get you in the door, but it's your preparation, it's your character, it's that unseen effort that keeps you in the room. So many people, they're just banking on their access, their credentials, their charisma. But do they have substance to go the long haul? Do they have the goods to endure? See, we've got to be thinking like that tree that's putting down the roots deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And you could look at that tree and be like, man, I haven't seen it get tall in a while. It's been a while since I saw that tree do anything. Man, it hasn't branched out. It doesn't have any colorful leaves. I went back to the tree's, Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and I didn't see anything there. It must be a dead tree. Because what we don't see on the surface, what we don't see even online, what we don't see from a distance is what's going on underground, what's going on beneath the surface, what's going on at the root level. And this is that formational, even transformational time for so many emerging leaders. I am literally your biggest fan. Like, I am literally so excited and jived about where you're going to be going in the future. Like, I know many of your stories. I'm sure that this is going to go out, and it's going to end up in places that I can't even imagine probably. So let me just talk to you as authentically and genuinely as I can. I'm doing this project, Prepare to Go There, to help friends and leaders that are going through the necessary yet unnoticed preparation process put in the work to stay focused, to stay faithful, to keep going for their goal, to keep going for their targets, to keep going for that horizon, to keep going and pioneering, so that way they can lead themselves, leave a legacy, set an example that others want to follow. And so I'm like so happy for you, man. Anytime you can text me or send a message through social media or email or just face-to-face conversation, you say, hey, look what I'm working on. Look at what I'm doing. Look at this opportunity I got. I have this new role. I have this new relationship. I'm making money here. I'm doing this there. It's like, wow, that's awesome. That's so great. Like I champion that. I cheer you on in that. I'm happy for you. I want you to succeed. I want you to lead. I want you to go so much further than you could imagine right now. The reason I'm doing this is to give you some context and to give you some encouragement and to give you some coaching as you go on your journey. Like, I'm not going to be there every step of the way. I'm not going to be able, I can't even imagine some of the things you're going to face, both in terms of opposition or opportunities. That's why, it's helpful to have people help you, but at the end of the day, can you lead yourself? Can you lead by example? Are you making decisions worth repeating? Are you leading others and leading through others? And ultimately, are you going for a legacy that others want to carry on? And without the preparation process, without embracing the hidden years, you'll be found out as a fraud. You could be found out as someone unprepared. You'll be found out. Like, today I'm just having all these wonderful horror stories come to my mind of all of these people that started strong but couldn't follow through. They started with this big flash, but then it ended with a big crash. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be that. And instead of feeling sorry for yourself because people aren't liking you or loving you or following you or paying attention to you or paying you enough money or doing whatever, like, you got to stay focused. It's not about the externals. It's about the preparation that has to happen internally. And you have to keep showing up day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, maybe even decade by decade. You have to keep showing up. I don't care what age or stage of life you're in. You're probably preparing for the greatest moment of your life. You probably even haven't seen the greatest horizon of your life. And so how are you embracing the hidden years? What are you doing when no one's looking? And I'm not talking about like looking over your shoulder and, somebody's watching you and holding you accountable. I mean, like, how are you leveling up? How are you transforming? How are you preparing? How are you developing? How are you strategizing? How are you building? How are you, literally how, tactically, practically, what are you doing right now? And after a while, you kind of get this contentment and you say, you know what? This is worth it. And I'm getting good at preparing and I want to do great. And I'm going to just stick with this because when I look back, it's going to be all worth it. When I look back, it's not going to feel as long as it did when I was looking ahead. And when I look back, I'm going to see so many people that were connected to my choices that I had no idea about. And so I've got to do the necessary work. I've got to do the necessary preparation for them. So this is tough stuff. I mean, it's not convenient. It's not comfortable. It's not cultural even, right? Our culture says you need to find the shortest amount of time to get from where you are to where you want to be. You need to promote yourself, even at the expense of others, even at the expense of your health, even at the expense of your relationships, even at the expense of your example, even at the expense of your legacy, even at the expense of everything. Like, you could literally sell your soul just so that way you're famous, just so that way you're ahead of someone else who doesn't know you or doesn't care about you or doesn't, not even going to be in your story forever. I mean, it's just crazy. So my plea with you today is just heartfelt, and we'll get into more practicals as the week unfolds. But I really want you to embrace these hidden years. Now, obviously, my target right now is for, maybe you're 30 and under, and you have leadership on your life, and you have this big dream that you're excited about, and you've got these goals that you've been working through, but you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. Well, don't rush this process right now. You need to commit to it and not quit, so that way when you show up, you're going to show up ready. Show up ready. Like, you're more likely to quit than fail. Think of it. You're probably more likely, even right now, at the stage and the age that you're in right now, you're probably more likely to quit than you are to fail. Because if you committed, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to, throw the towel in. You will have challenges. You will have difficulty. You will have obstacles. You will be let down. You'll probably be disillusioned, here or there, but you're not going to quit. And that kind of person will never fail. Like, there's something built in you that's designed to win. There's something built in you that can overcome. There's something built inside of you that will learn how to navigate, that will adapt, that will traverse, that will plow through, that will pioneer. Like, the odds of you failing are far less than you quitting, but it's a greater danger for people to get weak-minded, to get soft, to, cave in, to get feeble emotionally, socially, and to just kind of cave into the crowd and cave into the, the current events, and to say, well, I'm behind and I tried and it didn't work, and, and so you just quit. You're like, well, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Why? Because I tried to promote myself and it didn't work. Well, I nobody paid attention to me. Nobody was helping me. Nobody was giving me, a hand up, a leg up, a nose up, an ear up, whatever up, It's like, so what? So what? Like, you keep going. You keep growing. And there will be a day where the people who ignored you will not be able to ignore you any longer. The people who ignore you today will not be able to ignore you on that day when you show up ready, when you show up prepared. And I'm not even saying it has to be like some, gotcha moment, where you're just like throwing down all at once. It's like Count of Monte Cristo, boom, boom, boom. You just like, I remember you. I remember you. I remember you. Look at me now. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, your motivation is, you stay humble, you stay low to the ground, you keep doing the work, you keep showing up, you keep preparing, and that attitude never quits and therefore never fails. So this is serious stuff because the hidden years are hidden. Like you don't realize the greatness that is growing inside of you right now. The responsibility that's probably growing inside many of you right now. You don't realize the opportunities that you'll face, the opposition that you'll overcome. And because everything seems, easy, you're on easy street right now because, maybe you got parents that are still paying bills, or maybe you still have friends that are chipping in, or maybe you have a car you can drive yourself wherever you want, whenever you want. That's cool. Maybe you have a job that you like. Maybe you have a little routine, and you're just on cruise control. You're literally on cruise control, and you're just like taking in the views, taking in the snooze, and you're just wasting time. You're totally wasting time. And it's sad to me. I'm sad for you. I'm sad for you because somehow we're not making that connection. Somehow we're not seeing how what I do today is going to impact what needs to get done one day. I need to find this scripture and just kind of get into this for a second. Hold on. Give me just a second. This is live. This is unscripted. It's not that I mind scripts. I just didn't have one today because I spent all my time on my cool little countdown video. But man, I'm so happy for y'all. I'm so grateful. If you found this, it's already hard to find. You say, Peter, why don't you put this on YouTube yet? I'm enjoying the process. I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to invest. I'm literally looking at 0 eyeballs right now. But you know what? I'm going to just keep doing this. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm counting it all joy. I'm having fun. I'm dreaming, and I'm preparing. And you know what? I'm glad that I'm thankful that I get to practice in this setting. I'm so glad. I mean, you do have to learn live to some extent, but I'm so thankful that I'm getting this opportunity. I'm embracing obscurity. That's not just humble pie talk. That is not humble pie talk. All right, here we go. Let's look at some of this. This is Proverbs 24. Where did you go? Okay, here we go. Proverbs 24. I'll start in verse 27. Do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. Okay, don't testify against your neighbors without cause. Don't lie about them, and don't say, now I can pay them back for what they've done to me. I'll get even with them. Verse 30, I've walked by the field of a lazy person, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles. It was covered with weeds, and its walls were broken down. Then as I looked and thought about it, I learned this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. What on earth? What is that? I want you to learn from other people's example. The person in this story, this true story, this poetry, really, this wisdom key, he said, hey, I was walking through somebody's field. I noticed that he was a hot mess express. He wasn't ready. They weren't ready for what was going to happen next. They thought it was easy because nothing was happening to them. They thought there were no consequences because nothing was going on at the moment. And because of that, they didn't realize that poverty and scarcity were coming on them with force, with speed. See, you can maintain status quo for a while. You can just kind of go through the ho-hum for a while, but there will be a day of reckoning. There will be an opportunity. There will be a moment to prove what you have done with your time. And that is a crazy reality in the Christian ethic, in the Christian worldview. In the Christian worldview, accountability always comes, even if it doesn't come immediately, even if it doesn't come to everyone at the same time. Accountability always comes. Don't be looking at people that are playing games with life, that are, ripping other people off and living some high life and some good life. And they make it all look like just taking shortcuts is beneficial. You have no idea what the future is going to hold. So stay humble, stay low to the ground, and embrace the hidden years. Because the same way that there are hidden years, there are going to be years of great light. And what I mean by that is exposure and experience. And I think of a practical example of Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was warning people about Nazi Germany for years before he was Prime Minister of Great Britain. He was talking, he was writing, he was, speaking out. And it kind of seemed like he was going unnoticed. It kind of seemed like the volume was turned way down low. But all of that time, he was learning, studying, advancing, creating, his acumen. He was growing his convictions. He was growing in competence. He was having hard challenges, hard lessons. I mean, it was not pretty. It was not fun, but it was necessary and it was good. And he didn't quit. And so something in that process, something in that journey developed in him the resilience and the resolve to not quit and therefore not fail. And so when the desperate moment came and when promotion finally came, it wasn't easy. It wasn't with a lot of fanfare. It wasn't with a lot of, celebrity treatment. Like he was welcomed into war. And I don't know if we realize what kind of leadership roles we're being called into. Like our generation, my generation, generations younger, like I don't think we realize what leadership really looks like. We think leadership looks like influencers. We think leadership looks like having the right filters and the right stuff and the right image. But are we more concerned with image or are we more concerned with impact? Are we more concerned with image or are we more concerned with identity? And are we finding things in the hidden years that no one else will find? Are we learning things in the hidden years that no one else will learn? Are we willing to go places, meet people, build relationships in the hidden years that are going to serve and support and supplement when we are not in the hidden years? So you need to learn from other people's examples. That's one of the things you can do. People aren't looking at you, but you can be looking at other people. When people are not looking at you right now, you can be looking at other people and learn from them. Learn from the example of what to do. Learn from the example of what not to do. You need to learn. You need to see their lifestyle, see their life journey, see the trajectory. Man, I love learning from people older than me. I love learning from people that have lived and died, because you know what the trajectory very clearly. You know, okay, they thought this, they believed this, they did this, they tried that, and it got there. Now, if I don't want to end up there, then I need to reverse engineer and figure out, okay, what was the good stuff? What was the bad stuff? What was the ugly stuff? All right, let me learn from that. I mean, you could download decades just by watching someone else's life story. And all we're doing, all you're doing is just procrastinating because you don't think, number one, that it matters where you spend your time, how you spend your time, what you're working on, what you're working towards. Man, you're going places. Do you realize you have greatness growing in your story right now? You can't see it, but it's happening. It's like this metaphor I heard where you've got this quilt, this patchwork quilt. And when you're working on it, you look at the back of the quilt and it's just all messy and it's got all these stitch marks and things. And you're like, man, that's not attractive at all. That doesn't look nice at all. It's just a bunch of stitch marks and everything. It's kind of random. But what you don't realize is when you're finished making the quilt, you turn it over and then you see the design. And so many people, they're looking at the wrong side. They're thinking about the wrong side of their story right now. And all they think of is all of the junk. They think of all the mess. They think of all of the trials. They think of all of the stuff that didn't go the way they thought. And they don't realize that there will be a day of reckoning, but also a day of reward. There will be a day of confrontation where you have to step up and show people who you have become. Show people who you have become. Show people who you really are. Show people what you're really capable of. Show people what you really know. Show people what you really can do. Show people what they need to hear. Show people what they need to follow. You're going to step up and you will be a leader, and it won't be hard, and it won't be a struggle, and it won't be you fighting for their approval or fighting for their applause. It's going to be you just in your element. It's going to be you just doing your thing. It's going to be you just making it look easy. And they're going to be like, wow, where did they come from? They're the overnight success. And you're like, you got to be kidding me, because this overnight success was like 30 years in the making, or 20 years in the making, or 10 years in the making. I mean, look at the trajectory of triumph, and you will see people who overcome, people who outmatch the odds, people who persevere, people who do the astounding, people who live like legends. It wasn't just because they showed up. It was because they were willing to be overlooked for a time. And then when they were needed, when they were called upon, they showed up ready. You say, Peter, how long do I wait? Nobody said anything about waiting. Nobody said anything about waiting. See, that's the thing. Are you waiting for someone to help you, someone to promote you, someone to do something for you? You don't need that. You need to enjoy the journey you're on right now. You need to stay focused on your future. You need to make decisions worth repeating. You need to lead yourself, lead with an example, and then just trust fall. Just trust fall into the results. Learn from other people's example. I love this quote. I'll probably talk about it more than once here. The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. What does that mean? It means a lot of things. There was actually an economist who said this, but here's how I want to present it to you today. You can be living in your future in part right now. There's a part of your future that you can be tapping into, that you can be tasting, that you can be trying, that you can be experimenting with, that you can be developing. It might just be in beta. You might be in the R&D phase right now, but your future is already here right now. There's an element, there's some ingredients that are already in your kitchen, and you need to start preparing and putting some of that together. And then what's going to happen is it's not evenly distributed, but there will be a moment where the thing you've been doing is now in the light. The thing you've been working on comes forward. The thing you've been focused on is now being seen and recognized and received and appreciated. So guys, don't live for that, because you know leadership looks differently than the path of self-promotion. I'm not saying you shouldn't be promoted. I'm just saying don't waste your time trying to get yourself somewhere you're not ready to be. Instead, prepare yourself, because I promise you opportunities will come. And when they do come, then you can have the confidence and the competence to step in. Opposition will come. And then at that time, you'll still have the confidence and the competence to step forward. And whatever happens in the future, you'll be ready. You'll be ready to go, because you were willing to work through the wait. You were willing. We call it active waiting. You were willing to, you're like, well, there's a lot I can't do right now, but there's a lot you can do right now. Well, I'm trying to make that happen. I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to do that. But it just seems like I have all these walls around me. Yeah, you know what that is? A fort. That's protection. Sometimes rejection is divine protection. If you feel like you got all these walls on you, all these walls around you, I'm not talking about depression or anxiety or some sort of oppression. I mean, like, just stuff's not happening for you right now. You feel like you try to go this way and there's a wall. You try to go that way and there's a wall. You try to go that way and there's a wall. That's okay. You leverage it. It's your fort. It's your defense. It's your castle. It's your stronghold. You know what you can be doing in your fort? If you can be developing, training, advancing, strategizing, leveling up. You can be growing. Man, there's so much opportunity right now. In fact, when you actually step in to your next new, when you step into that promotion, when you'll be like, man, I wish I had prepared more. There's many rooms. There's a great quote, many rooms in the house, but the greatest room in the house is room for improvement. I know that's corny, but it stuck with me. I want you to realize that you have an amazing gift right now. People, they were given 2020 and they're like, well, we can't do anything. We can't travel. We can't leave. We can't go. We can't. You can prepare. You can be preparing. There's an opportunity right in front of us right now. You say, why don't you, share this more freely, more broadly? Because I want to prepare. I want to keep preparing. I know that this is going to be important stuff, but my conversation has a purpose. And my conversation is designed for people that are already listening to this frequency. And so I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to coach you. And I'm here just to say, hey, there's some things that you can be doing right now practically to lead yourself. So that way, when you're called upon, you'll lead the right way. You'll lead a better way. You'll be leading by example. And it's not going to be a mystery. It's not going to be some fantasy. When you start saying stuff, you're going to know what you're talking about. Others are going to know you're serious. And when you lead, they're not going to think, oh, we better chill. They're going to say, oh, man, this person's serious. We better charge. So, wow, I feel fired up right now. I'm just so passionate for you. I just really sense a sense of urgency and expectancy. And I'm having fun. I think this is a great conversation to have. I hope many of you are listening to this eventually, but in the meantime, don't waste your time trying to promote yourself, but just keep focused and just keep working on preparing yourself, because preparation never stays hidden forever. Never stays hidden forever. It is impossible for a prepared person to stay hidden forever. It's impossible. I am convinced it is impossible for the skills you have, the experience you have, the lessons you've learned, the victories you've taken on, the challenges you've walked through. You can't keep that under wraps forever. And so instead of thinking that this is some curse on you, I'm invisible, what a bad thing. Don't you think stealth is an advantage sometimes? Don't you think that, I'll leave it there. Whew. I think I just got myself fired up today. It's going to be a good week. I hope you guys have a good week. We're going to be talking tomorrow. You say, why do you go every day? Why are you talking every day? What's going on? Number one, I want to prepare. Number two, I want to practice this, but also I believe that this conversation needs to stay daily. It needs to be a daily conversation. So that way, you know what I do? I listen to podcasts all the time while I'm just working or doing just normal house stuff or whatever needs to be done. And man, I'm just listening to it. And a lot of times I just tune it out. And I was thinking, maybe I go short, maybe I go long, maybe whatever. I'm aiming for, a good time. But man, you just to have something you can chew on and listen to and just have some positivity and have some encouragement and have some motivation and just have someone remind you that your future needs to stay on your front burner and you need to get your future off the back burner, and you've got work to do and people are counting on you and you have no idea the greatness that's growing inside of you, and you also have no idea how much grit is being required of you. So you better get started and you better keep going and enjoy this journey, because it's more of a lifestyle than it is just an audition. It's a lifestyle. All right, tomorrow we are going to be talking about the summer days. Man, it is so easy just to slack, just for lack of a better word, just to slack off during the summer, give yourself a break. And I want to give you a joyful mindset to say, you know what? Summertime is my time. Summertime is game time. Summertime is it's gonna be where I get the best results. I'm gonna look back at this summer. I'm gonna say, wow, look at what I accomplished. Look at what happened. I'm so grateful that I didn't get that daze I got so much. My eyes were so glazed, I look like a donut. Come on. All right. You guys are my friends. I call you future friends for a reason, because I want to dream with you about your future. I want to hear what you see, what you're excited about, what you feel invited into. And then I just want to get behind you and just say, hey, let's figure out, how do we prepare to go there? Like, what are the actual steps we can take? Let's get going. And it may not be, big mountaintop stuff, right? It may just be the path. It may just be the process. It may just be the repetition. It may just be the disciplines, but it's worthwhile to do it. So I want you to join the email community, because I want to know who I'm talking to. And I also want you to join the email community, because I'm going to be sharing projects and products that I'm making with you all in mind. And as I share them, we're going to be working on incentives that are only going to the email community. And it's a great encouragement as we're launching out and doing this. So guys, remember, you're going places, but you got to prepare to go there. And I really want people to figure out how to get out of procrastinating and get into a lifestyle of preparing. And I'm convinced that we can do this together. So let's take on the future with friends, and I'll see you tomorrow.